Against Portland, you said the message was the game. Today, another 10-run loss. What's the message you gave in the outfield there?
I won't go too much into that.
You do anything on it, or is just absolutely not?
What's that?
Can you go any way into it, or is that just?
No, what we talked about in the outfield will stay in the outfield.
What Luke Short obviously gave Cal a good outing out there. What did he do to kind of neutralize your bats and hold you to one extra base hit?
Yeah, I thought Luke did a nice job. He threw multiple pitches for strikes. He stretched the zone. He stayed out of the middle of the plate, and looked like he did a fine job of pitching. He really did. He pitched, and I was impressed with his ability to change speeds and locate the fastball.
With that one extra base hit, Hellman, which was initially ruled in error, just what do you have to do to get the bats going, give you guys some extra runs out there?
Oh, I mean, part of that is good pitching, right, with what Luke Short did. I mean, he did a nice job of pitching. Part of it is just addressing pitches that you should address in a more confident manner, and that's something that we're going to need to work on.
You bring Brock Moore out for the third inning. He had 37 pitches after the 2 innings. Just what went into kind of giving him out there?
Well, we're trying to stretch Brock out. We're trying to see, Brock came in here as a starter, and, there's always a chance that Brock can be a starter here too. But, when he started this spring, he had a setback with a weight room situation with a lower leg or something like that. So he was out for a couple of weeks, and his pitch count was behind, and his buildup was behind. And so we're trying to build him up to where we can get him to potentially even be considered as a starter, because we're going to need help in our starting rotation.
Regardless of that, just he had 6 straight strikeouts there. Is that the type of stuff that you kind of foresee potentially coming out of the as a starter?
I don't know yet. The stuff is fantastic, and that's obviously goes into the plan of potentially having him as a starting pitcher. He had a really good outing, and as he tired, he lost a little bit of the fastball, like most of them do. But still, we were trying to stretch Brock out, and that was part of the plan of this weekend. We didn't know how that was going to happen, but we wanted to continue to do that this weekend for Brock.
RJ, set a new career high in strikeouts, but gets touched up out there. Just was that more kind of fastball command that really kind of got him lost?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
With the plan to potentially stretch Brock out a little bit, does that come at reducing his velocity? Obviously, we saw him hit 101 earlier in the year, and now he's sitting still high 98. But
no, I think pitchers, for the most part, are going to stay in their range. Brock's gotten up to 100 miles an hour and stuff like that, and today he was sitting 97 and 99. It's not, does that affect his velocity in a negative way to stretch him out? No, I don't think so. The better your arm gets in shape, the more you can sustain velocity, and that's one of the goals.
Obviously, Drew wasn't available on Tuesday. Get him back tonight. What kind of lift does he give? I think he came away with a hit or two tonight. How'd you feel about him?
Yeah, I thought he had very good at-bats. Drew's one of our leaders, and to not have him in a lineup is expensive. To not have him in a lineup when you can have him in a lineup, it's clearly something that, he wasn't in trouble. There wasn't anything going on like that. He just, he's a guy that he got dinged up a little bit at I think in one of the Arizona State games, and so that's why he was out of lineup, and now he's back, which is great. It's a lift for us, and he played well tonight.
Second straight game without Bryce. Is he dealing with something right now, or what's going on with him? Yeah,
he stayed today, but he got spiked in a rundown in Arizona, and so he's not available for us right now.
It's still kind of tinkering with the lineup still.
Well, you have to when you have injuries, right? So when you have injuries, you got to try to find somebody that's healthy to be able to get in there. So ideally, you don't want to tinker a bunch with the lineup. You want to get settled into a lineup, and so you make adjustments as you need to with the players that are available.
I feel like the top half is kind of set, and you're kind of moving guys like the 6 through 9 spot, or is it all?
Yeah, I don't know. We thought that Hellman was going to be a good matchup today, and I think that was still the right decision. He had several opportunities today, to where he could have impacted the game. And we're looking to get him going. That's our best hitter in fall and spring scrimmages, and yet he hasn't been able to get going quite yet. And if he makes an impact in the game, it's a loud impact usually, which, so that's one of our goals. He didn't get it going tonight, which is unfortunate. Settling into the lineup and stuff like that, the thing that needs to happen is settling in with the pitching. When the pitching settles things down, I think the rest of the game becomes easier, and right now we're not pitching at a high level.
For Don specifically, to go back to that, just from your perspective, what do you think it just hasn't really clicked for him, even though he performed well during the fall and the spring?
Well, I don't know. That's up to the player, and so we're just going to continue to work with him and try to get him right. He's a talented player, and we're happy he's here.
A bit of a slump for Jeffrey the past 2 games. How do you guys try to get him ramped back up to where he was at the beginning of the year?
Well, same thing. It's kind of hard to hit 500 the whole year. That's a little bit of a challenge right there. But still, he's off to a heck of a start, and he didn't have a great game tonight, but I'm sure he'll bounce back tomorrow.
How important is that consistency that Carter's been giving you in the 9-hole?
Really important, really important. And I thought probably tonight was, even though he got on base a couple of times and he provided some things offensively, I thought that today was probably one of his worst games that he played so far this year. And, he would probably even tell you the same, because there was a couple of mental mistakes that he had. And, he holds himself to a high standard, and he was disappointed in himself today. And, we're going to help him with that. I mean, he's going to bounce back. He's a tough kid. It's not like the guy's going to go in the tank for making a mental mistake, but he's a tremendous player, and it's been a huge advantage to have him in the 9-hole.
With Bryce out, you guys have thrown Mason out there in center and Justin tonight. You feel confident with your outfield defense with either Hurd or Arrows and right or left?
Yeah, there's plenty of options that we have out there. They just need to play to their capabilities, and that's the coach's job to get them ready to do it.